Okay, I got a text from someone who said, I've never done so much yoga in my life, and I was just so thrilled. I know some of you are taking 2 of these online classes a day, so let's get as much yoga in as we can. We have to find as many positives as we can in this whole situation that we're all dealing with. Make sure to have as many props as you can around, a couple bricks, belt, blankets, have as many props that you have in your house around, have a wall space. And then just a quick little story, if I might. This morning I thought I had lost one of my attachments for my microphone, and I was just getting so frustrated and irritated and, besides myself. And I was like, I've lost so I'll just have to do it without, the mic. I'll just have to do it with the regular iPhone mic, which is not as nice. And then when I was going to the elevator to come to the class, I said to myself, well, there's this upset, but then there's also the awareness of the upset. And it was just so clear to me that there has to be an awareness of everything that we're going through. Otherwise, we wouldn't know that it's happening. So there was this upset, this irritation, this frustration with apparently losing this device. And then there was the awareness of the upset. And they both are happening at the same time. The awareness is in the background and the upset is in the foreground. It's in the front. And so I said, but who are you more, Edwin? Are you more the upset or are you more the awareness? And in that moment, I instantly found peace. The device might still have been lost and the iteration was still, the residue of it was still there, but I identified myself more as the awareness, as the presence, as the unchanging, witnessing presence that is conscious of the upset, rather than the upset itself. To me, this is the heart of yoga. This is the invitation that yoga is offering us to see that we're not our thoughts, we're not our reactions, we're not our feelings. We are the awareness, the present awareness that is behind all of those thoughts, all of those feelings. Because I ask myself, well, is the upset going to go, whether I find the attachment or I don't find the attachment? And of course, the upset will go. I won't have that same upset tomorrow. I might have another upset, but I won't have that same upset. But will the awareness go? No, the awareness never goes, and the awareness never changes. And the awareness is endlessly peaceful and contented and happy, no matter what's going on. So the invitation of yoga is to recognize yourself as the awareness. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, it's called Purusha. That's the awareness, the unchanging presence of awareness. And Prakriti is all of the upsets, positive or negative. Everything that you can experience is called Prakriti. So for whatever it's worth to you, I share that with you. Hopefully it can benefit you in some way. So switch the cross of your legs. Come to your less habitual crossing and move way towards the back of your props. If you're on props, make your feet soft, move your calf muscles forward, and then walk your hands as far forward as you can go. And now we're settling down from the morning, and we're doing just that. We're drawing attention more from the outer to the inner, from the foreground to the background of our experience, from what's the movie that's playing on the screen to the blank screen itself. And then walk your hands back. Let's take a little twist to the right. Do the best. If you don't have another brick behind you, just lift your chest. And then take a twist to the left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Let's do a side bend today. So bring your right hand out to the side. Lift your left arm up. Inhale. And then take a side bend and just open up these left ribs. Extend. Make this top arm straight. Roll the left ribs back. You can even bend this right elbow to go down a little bit deeper. And then come back and let's take a side bend in the other direction. Inhale first, always, and then exhale. Turn the abdomen from the left side, from the right side to the left side. Straighten that top arm. Come back to the center, and let's do that again. So switch the cross of your legs. Feet soft, calf muscles forward, hip bones way back if you're on props. Hands forward. Some of you can come pretty far forward now. Move the thighs down, sitting bones down, deepen your breath. Somehow, just through grace, it's really just through grace, somehow yoga found us, and we're practicing this yoga as a way to stay sane, to stay physically fit, and to stay mentally calm and emotionally balanced. And then walk back and take a twist to the right. So inhale first and then exhale, turn. Come back to the center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn to the left. And then let's take a side bend over to the right side. And then over to the left side. Roll these right ribs back. Turn your chest up and then come back. Great. And then once again, switch the cross of your legs. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Turn your palms forward. Raise your arms upwards. Go down with your thighs. Go up with your side ribs. Bring your arms forward and down. Reverse the interlace of your fingers and go back up. Visualize someone pulling your wrists upwards and holding your thighs down. And then bring your arms forward and down. Switch the cross of the legs. Join your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes. Take off any glasses. Lift your chest upwards and bow your head to the silence that comes after the Om. The silence is another name for that present awareness that is in the background of your experience. You could call it your soul, you could call it your beingness. It's your fundamental self, it's your true I. Keep your chest lifted as you release your hands down to the thighs, raise your head, and then slowly open up your eyes. Okay, and then stretch out your legs. If you're wondering, I did find the device. So the whole thing was in my imagination anyway. Isn't that crazy? But it was just there to give me the teaching. Okay, so let's take Ardha Uttanasana. So come to a standing position and take Ardha Uttanasana with your hands at the wall there. So your hands are on the wall at the level of the shoulders. Walk the feet back. Bring the feet as wide as the hands and bring the feet right under the hips. Move the thighs back and reach the sides of your chest forward. Deepen your breath. Just stretch the hips away from the hands. Move the thighs back. Keep the kneecaps lifting. And then walk forward. Some of you, please repeat that if you have lower back sensitivity, hamstring restriction. Otherwise, let's do downward dog with your hands turned out at the wall. Okay, so your hands will be turned out at the wall, inner thumbs, inner index fingers. I don't think there's anybody new, so you all know the position of the hands. If you don't have a wall, just do a regular downward dog with your hands on the mat. You can hold on to the outer edges of the sticky mat to give you the same feeling of the wall. So as you press your hands into the wall, index and thumb, straighten your arms. Pull your arms up, pull your shoulder blades up, pull your hips up, pull your heels up. Lift your kneecaps up, and then move the tops of your thighs back, way back. So the top back thigh is moving back, back, back. Lift the shins up, and then reach the heels back and down. Reach the heels back, reach the metatarsals back, reach the toes forward. Deepen your breath. Okay, and then walk your hands back to the feet. Those of you with your hands on the wall, you can join us for this. Just start with Uttanasana, knees bent. So Uttanasana, have the feet at least hip distance apart, but go wider as you need to accommodate the hamstrings. Bring the outer heels in line with your fifth metatarsal there. Just start with the knees bent, just hang down like a rag doll. Make sure that your kneecaps are tracking right over the center of the feet. Don't let the knees knock inwards or move outwards. Just keep them tracking. Think of yourself as a skier. You have to keep the skis straight. Now, some of you stay here. Just stretch the back, stretch the head down. Others of you push into the floor with your fingertips. Use bricks under your hands as needed, and then extend your legs. Extend your legs fully. Be way up on the fingertips. The hands are wider. Extend the legs. Take the abdomen up and towards your head. Take the ribs down, take the head down. And then bring your fingertips under the shoulders or onto the shins. If you can't reach the floor, bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and up you come. Great. Let's come back to Tadasana. So come back to the center of your mat. Feel free to go to a wall if you'd like to do some standing poses, which we'll do some standing poses now. If you'd like to do your standing poses at a wall, feel free to do that. Okay. Otherwise, stand in Tadasana. Join your feet together. Press your heels down and spread your toes and pull your kneecaps up and move the root of the thigh back away from the camera. Use your thumbs. Keep the thighs back, the top of the thighs go back, and then bring the top of the buttocks down. Keeping the thighs back, lift the abdomen up and draw the outer hips in. And then with the outer hips in, squirt yourself up, lift yourself up. Bring your shoulders back and then extend your arms down. Extend the arms downwards for Tadasana. Extend your elbows, make your arms as straight as your legs. Reach up through the crown of the head. And now bring your arms forward. Turn the tops of your arms out as you bring your arms all the way up into Urdhva Hastasana. Come back into your heels. Move the roots of the thighs back. Move the top of the buttocks down. That's Wilbur calling again there, Nicholas. I'm just going to decline that call because I think some of your screens go dark when that happens. And then bring your arms forward and down. Back into Tadasana. Now bring your arms out to the sides. Turn the tops of your arms outwards. And then raise your arms all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Keep turning the outer upper arms forward and the inner upper arms back. You can take a peek and see if your thumbs are moving back and out. Lift both of your arms upwards, move your arms back, and then bring your arms out to the sides and down. Now bring your arms forward with your palms downwards, cross your thumbs. Raise your arms, go all the way up. Push the heels down, lift the sides of your trunk upwards. Pull your thumbs until you squeeze your outer upper arms in. Move the inner upper arms back. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Now switch the cross of the thumbs and lift your rib cage up as you move your heels down, buttocks down, outer hips in, and then bring your arms out to the sides and down. Tadasana. Now interlace your fingers in front of you, turn your palms forward and go up with your arms. Urdhva Badanguliasana. Now inhale here and take a side bend over to the right. Move the left ribs back and the right ribs forward. Pull the bottom arm, both arms actually, away from your torso. Move the left ribs back. lift the head, come back to the center, and then go to the other side. So straighten the legs, pull the arms away, and move the right ribs back. Come back to the center, bring your arms down. Turn your palms to face your chest, and then move your fingers, one finger upwards each. Reverse interlace. Turn your palms forward, go all the way up. Come back into your heels, lift up through the sides of the chest. And inhale, and then exhale, go over towards the right side. Left ribs back, right ribs forward. Come back to the center, inhale, and then exhale over. Come back to the center, and then bring your arms forward and then down. Good, now interlace your fingers behind you, this way. Okay, interlace the fingers. If that's not, if that feels too constricting, just go to locking your thumbs. Lock your thumbs and roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders back and lift up through the sides of the chest. Pull your knuckles back and down. And then reverse the interlace. Pull the knuckles back and down. Good. And then release. Take your feet again, hip distance or mat distance apart. So again, the mat distance is easier, gives you more space. Bring the outer edges of your feet so they're parallel. Bring your hands to the hips and bend your knees. And then again, you can watch first. So just watch first so you don't have to keep looking up. Watch first. So bent knee, Uttanasana. And then we're going to interlace the fingers over and then lift the knuckles up and over. Some of you will stay here. Others of you can extend your legs. You have to see what you can manage to do. Okay? So let's do this. Start with knees bent. Lift the knuckles. If the knuckles feels too much, use your thumbs. Use your thumbs. Pull up, pull up. Okay? And then some of you can extend your legs. Now bend your knees again, everybody. Reverse the interlace of your fingers. Lift the knuckles up to the ceiling first. And then maybe some of you straighten your legs. And then you bring your knuckles over your head. Or you're just locking the thumbs. You can also use a belt. You can hold the belt shoulder distance apart. Okay, and then bring your hands to the hips. Reach the chest forward. And up you come. Good, come back to Tadasana. Let's do Rikshasana. If you happen to have a wall for balance. So balance on your, bring some more of your body weight into your left foot as you turn the top of this right leg out. Turn it out and then bring your right foot all the way up into the inner thigh. Making sure that your left toes are going straight forwards, right toes are going straight downwards. Make sure that your hip doesn't go out. Bring your left hip in by bringing more of your body weight into the inner left foot. And then really turn this leg out. Turn the inner leg to the outer leg and lengthen the inner thigh towards the inner knee. So there's a lengthening, so the knee actually goes down. It doesn't go up, it goes down. And push this right heel into your left thigh. If you have your balance, either bring your hands into prayer position, lift up through the sides of your chest. Otherwise, raise your arms and lock your thumbs above you. Keep pressing into the instep of that left foot. Draw the outer left hip in. Lift your abdomen up. Squeeze the arms into the head. And then bring your hands back to prayer and release. Tarasana. Lifting up the arms is optional. Just work on getting the action of the legs. So bring more of your body weight into your right foot. Turn your left leg out from the top of the thigh. Turn it out. Now bring your left foot all the way up. And make sure that your right hip isn't going out to the side. Keep this right hip in. Having the wall is nice because it gives you, it gives you the ability to use it as you need it and then not use it if you don't need it. Press the instep of the right foot down, so that inner right heel. And what that does is it brings this hip in. Now turn this leg out. The inner left leg has to go to the outer left leg, and you're lengthen this inner left thigh out to the inner left knee, and move the left knee down, and push the left heel into the right leg. And that gives you the confidence. And also, draw the top of the buttocks in. Gather the sacral band inwards. Lift the abdomen if you have your balance. Come to Namaskarasana. Otherwise, raise your arms, lock your thumbs the less habitual way. Pull on your thumbs and go all the way up. Rikshasana. Keep pressing into the instep of that right foot. Draw the right hip in. Push your left foot into the right thigh. And then bring your hands back to Namaskarasana, lift your chest, and then release. Tadasana. Come back to the center of your mat or stay at the wall there. If you'd like that extra support, bring your hands to the center of your chest and then lift up your arms. I'm going to be stepping, but if you'd like to jump, just jump your legs wide apart. Jump your legs wide apart. So bring your feet all the way out under the hands. Just move these away. Have the toes forward, Utthita Hasta Padasana. Move the thighs back. Lift the sides of the chest upwards. Now turn your left foot in slightly. Turn your whole right leg out from the top of the thigh. And then again, just like we did in tree pose, turn this leg out. Turn it out as you bend the knee. So as you turn the leg out, the knee doesn't drop inwards. Don't let the knee drop towards the inner foot. Move the right knee away. Turn the leg out. And also like tree pose, lengthen this inner thigh. Let it get really long. Straighten the back leg, extend it. So you're turning both of the legs out. Go down and then straighten the knee. Make sure that knee goes right over the ankle. Inhale. And now lift up your arms and go down. Turn this leg out. Turn it out. Lengthen the right inner thigh. Lift the left inner thigh away from the floor. Go down with your hips. Lift your chest. Lift your chin. And then maybe look out over your right middle finger. Veer Bhadrasana 2. Keep reaching back through the left arm, back through the left leg, and then come on up. Turn your right toes forward, bring your hands to the chest, and then step your right leg in and then your left leg in or jump. Press your heels down, lift up through your chest. Bring your hands to the center of your chest, raise your arms, bring your arms out to the sides. Now step your left foot out and step your right leg out. Feet under the hands. Turn your right foot in slightly. Turn your whole left leg out from the top of the thigh. And start to turn this inner left leg to the outer left leg. Inhale. As you exhale, bend the knee. Keep turning the leg so that the knee doesn't drop inwards. Don't let your left knee drop towards the big toe side of your left foot. And then lengthen this left inner thigh. Reach it. Reach this inner thigh. Reach it. Reach it. And go down with your hips. And at the same time, don't let this leg drop. Lift this inner right leg up as if someone's pulling there. Sometimes we even use the ropes, right, around the back leg, and then come on up. Don't you miss the ropes? They're here. They're lonely these days, the ropes, but I go on them. So inhale here. Now lengthen, turn the top of this left leg out, turn it out, lengthen this inner left thigh, lift this inner right thigh, go down, lift your chin, and then look out over your left middle finger. Making sure that your left knee is right over that ankle. Keep attention in your right arm and your right leg as you come up out of the pose. Turn your left foot in. Bring your hands to the chest. Now step your left foot in and then your right leg in. And stand in Tarasana. Absorb the effects of Veer Bhadrasana 2. Veera is warrior, but it also means strength. So we're all cultivating the strength that we need to persevere. Bring your hands to the center of the chest. Lift up your arms. Bring your arms out to the sides. Step your right leg out. Step your left leg out. Please be at the wall if you need to. Turn your left foot in slightly. Turn your right leg out. This is Parsva Hasta Padasana. Pull the kneecaps up. Turn this leg out. Lengthen the inner thigh all the way down to the inner foot. So you're lengthening that inner thigh all the way down to that inner foot as you come into Utthita Konasana. Straightening your front right leg and your back left leg, turning this leg out, lifting your chest, turning the tops of the arms, neck sensitive, look straight forwards. Otherwise, lift your chin as you exhale and look up at the top thumb. Turn your abdomen up towards the ceiling. Make sure that your right shoulder is back. Lila, you're doing Parsvottanasana, right? Now reach up through your left arm and come up out of the pose. Turn your right toes forward. Deepen your breath. Come back into the heels. Turn the right foot in. Turn your left leg out. And that action, so turn it out. All of these poses where the leg is turned out, that is such an important action. And a lengthening of the inner thigh. That opens up your hips. So your seated poses come better. Eventually Padmasana, Lotus pose. So inhale here. As you exhale, lift up your left arm. Get long on that left side. Keep turning this leg out. Turn it out. As you come down into the pose, straighten the front left leg. Turn it out. Turn the left leg out. And lengthen this thigh all the way down to the inner foot. Lengthen it. Straighten your back leg and keep lifting up the right leg, right inner thigh. Lift your chest, maybe look straight forwards, otherwise lift your chin as you exhale, and then look up at that top thumb, keeping the bottom shoulder back. And then reach up with your right arm and come up out of the pose. Turn your left foot forward, and then bring your arms and your legs back together and stand in Tadasana. Bring your heels back, thighs back, outer hips in, buttocks down, extending down through your arms. Okay, let's do Veer Bhadrasana One. Now, if you happen to have some bricks, I want you to put your feet on some bricks. If you have 2 bricks, it's probably going to be best, unless your foot can just be on 1 brick. So I'm going to have you put your front foot, your right foot, up on some bricks. So I have 2 bricks there. If you don't have bricks, please just do it without the bricks. It's fine. So take your left leg back. Take the left leg back. So we're elevating the front foot, right? That's what we do in some of the poses, is when you can change the position of the feet, you can change the height of the feet, you can change the height of the base. And that brings a different quality to the pose, a different awareness to the pose. So this is Veer Bhadrasana One. So make sure that you have about 4 feet distance between your feet, and you have a heel to heel alignment, unless you need to move that front foot and the bricks, if you have them, over to the right one. And now just bend this right knee, and notice how with the foot elevated, you can get the hip to go lower. You might be able to get the hip to go lower, so that this can be in more of an angle, a 90-degree angle. You might be getting that 90-degree angle there today. So get that hip to be down, and then straighten the knee, and now focus on the back leg. As you bend this right knee, and you get the hip down, don't let the hip come below the knee. That's the temptation, right? Just have it right in line with the knee. Straighten your back leg. Extend the front of the left hip. Extend the front of that left hip. Lift your abdomen upwards. Straighten the front knee. That's it. Good. Now bring your arms either out to the sides this way, which is easier, and stay there as you bend that front knee. Go down. Go down. If your bricks are sliding at all, just have the bricks at the wall there. Some of you stay here as you extend this back leg, bring the left ribs forward, turn your arms and raise your arms up. Go up, go up, go up. That's it. Bring those left ribs forward. And now straighten the front knee. Carefully bring your back foot forward and bring your right foot off of those bricks if you were utilizing those bricks. Okay, let's do the other side. So move your bricks to the left side. Remember, go wider. If you need to, have a little bit more space. And if you're not utilizing the bricks, don't worry about that. Okay, so bring your left foot up onto the bricks, and then very carefully take your right leg back. The back heel is down. Some of you might have to put some height under that back heel, you know, your particular bodies, if your back heel comes up. So straighten the legs, press the outer edge of your right foot down, and bring this right hip forward. Veer Bhadrasana One does many things, but it is a really good front hip opener. Now inhale, as you exhale, bend the front knee, use your thumbs on the top of the buttocks to push the buttocks down, and notice that with your foot up on the bricks, you can get your left hip as low as the knee. Don't let your hip get lower than the knee, but let it come as at least as low. Move the buttocks down, bring these right ribs forward, and extend this front right hip, straighten the back leg, moving that inner right thigh back. And now straighten the knee. Some of you will do that again with your hands on the hips, using your thumbs to push the top of the buttocks down to create length in your lumbar spine. You shouldn't feel any crunching of the lumbar spine. To move that top buttocks strongly down. Bring your arms out to the sides. Inhale. As you exhale, come down into the pose. Get your hip as low as the knee. Now press the outer edge of your right foot and extend this right hip. Lift the abdomen up. Maybe stay here. Otherwise, turn the arms and go up. Up with your arms, inner upper arms back upper neck muscles down, extending that back leg, right ribs forward. And now straighten the front knee. Bring your hands to the hips, and then hop the back foot closer, and then bring your foot off of that brick. And stand in Tadasana. So bring your heels back, Lift up through your chest. Okay, let's use those bricks for Uttanasana. So if you don't have a brick, if you don't have bricks around, you can also use a chair. You can put your hands on the front edge of a chair, okay? So you can just use a chair, a dining room chair, any chair that works, okay? So bring your right foot forward in between the bricks and bring your left leg back. Just like the same foot position as Warrior One. Heel to heel. Press the outer edge of your left foot down. Bring this left hip forward. Bring your left ribs forward. Roll your shoulders back. And now bring your arms forward and up. Lock your thumbs as we did earlier and go up. So lift, lift upwards, lift all the way up. So Leela, you can do this with us because I think the first one you did with the hands on the wall. Basically, it's the same pose, right? So you were just walking your hands up the wall. Okay, and then I can show that also as well for some of you who this feels too much. So bring your hands to the hips once you've gotten that length. Roll the shoulders back. Use again the thumbs to move the top of the buttocks down. Lift up through your chest and then start to come forward. Come forward. Right hip back, left hip forward. Bring your hands down to the bricks, down to the chair. And some of you might do better here. You might do better with your hands up the wall. Your foot can be a little bit away from the wall, and then you walk your hands up the wall. So if that pose feels too much, please do this version, which we sometimes do in class as well. Otherwise, the right leg is forward, the left leg is back. So straighten your back left leg and bring your outer left hip forward. Straighten your front right leg and draw the outer right hip back. More experienced students who don't have any roundedness in your back, move the bricks lower or be on your fingertips. Fingertips. Good, and now bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward and come on up and come back to Tadasana. Now bring your left leg forward in between the bricks, left foot forward in between the bricks, step your right leg back. Heel to heel alignment. Remember, you can have your hands up the wall, just have your left foot near to the wall, and then you'll walk your hands up the wall when we come forward. So draw this outer right hip forward, draw the outer left hip back. Use your thumbs to move the top of that buttocks down. This has to strongly go down, okay? As you roll the shoulders back, lift the abdomen upwards, and then start to come forwards. Steer, drive your left hip back and your right hip forward. And then bring your hands down to the bricks. Straighten your back right leg and move your inner right thigh back and your outer right hip forward towards the bricks. Use the bricks as a directional. Draw the left hip back away from the bricks. Press your hands down into the bricks and lift your chest forward. Lift, lift the chest forward. If you can, move the bricks lower as long as your back isn't rounding. And then bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and bring your arms and your legs back together. Come back to Tarasana. Okay, now some of you can keep those bricks there. We'll do Prasarita Padottanasana, which is the intense wide foot stretch. So bring your heels to the back edge of your mat. Bring your hands to the center of the chest. Raise your arms up, bring your arms out to the sides, and step your feet out or jump your feet out so that the feet come out under the hands. Take the heels, the feet right under the hands. It's very wide for this pose. Try to get your feet under the fingernails. And then turn your feet so that the outer edges of the feet are parallel to each other. Pull the kneecaps up and roll the thighs in. Lift your abdomen up. Again, use your thumbs to move the top of the buttocks down. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest upwards, and then start to come forward. Move your inner thighs back, inner thighs move back. Bring your hands down to the bricks or to the floor on your fingertips. Again, make sure you don't have any roundedness in your back. If you can bring your palms flat, do that. If you can walk your hands back a little bit, do that, but still the arms are straight. Hit the back of the arm into the front of the arm. Move your inner thighs back. Move those inner thighs way, way back. Lift your chest forward. Make sure as you're lifting your head that you're not lifting it from the back of the head, but rather lift from the sides of your neck. Pull the kneecaps up. Move the inner groins back. Some of you who can go down further, go ahead and bring your head down. I won't show that because it's a level 1 class, but you know what to do. You can bring your head down and stay there for a few breaths. Otherwise, walk your hands forward and then shuffle your feet closer together. Bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward and come on up, and then bring your arms and your legs back together. Okay, now there's a few of you who do headstand. If you'd like to do headstand, go ahead and do the headstand. This is a level 1 class, so I don't show headstand in this class, but you can go ahead and do that pose, and then you can join us when you're ready to join us again. Otherwise, I want everyone to sit down onto the floor, and I want you to sit in Upavishta Konasana. So this is where you might need some height under your hips, right? So we're going to sit in this position, but if you find that you're falling back this way, like that, and this is all falling back, then you have to sit up on some height. You can sit up on a brick, or you can sit up on a blanket. You can have whatever's around and sit up on that height to get the sacrum to lift. Okay, so then once you're in the pose, lift up your hips a little bit and see if you can bring your hips even further forward. And be balanced evenly on your sitting bones. And then lengthen the inner thighs towards the inner knees, just like we were doing in Warrior Two pose and in Utthita Trikonasana. Lengthen the inner knees towards the inner heels. Bring your fingertips behind you and lift up through your chest. Make sure that your pubic bone and your tailbone are both moving towards the floor evenly, that you're not dropping the abdomen forward or dropping the sacrum backwards. It has to be an evenness there. Draw the outer knees into the outer hips. Headstanders, you can come down and join us anytime in Upavishta Konasana. Move the knees down, the backs of the knees to go down. Lift up through the sides of the chest. Good, now let's bring the legs back together into Bada Konasana. So hold on to the inner knees and bring your feet together. And again, you might have to adjust the height. If this causes you to go back like this and your knees are super high, then you have to sit up on a brick. You have to sit on some height. Otherwise, lift up your hips and move your hips close to the feet. Bring your hands behind you. Press your heels into each other. Press the heels into each other. And again, spread the inner thighs. So just like Rikshasana, right? Turn the legs out. Turn the inner legs to the outer legs. And then lengthen the inner thighs towards the inner knees. And draw the outer thighs down towards the floor. Draw those outer thighs down to the floor. And there should be a gripping of the buttocks. Draw the outer hips in. The buttocks has to grip in order for the inner legs to open. So use your hands that you don't fall backwards. Sit up on height if your sacrum is falling backwards. I'm trusting you to take care of your lower back, right? Don't do harm just because I can't see you directly. Okay, now release. Let's go back to Upavishta Konasana. So stretch your right leg out or your left leg out. Okay, and make sure to have something to reach for height, because I'm going to use some height in a moment. So once you've gotten your pose, take your fingertips onto the back of the right thigh and see if you can spread the skin on the back of the thigh towards the knee, and then move the calf muscle so that you're ironing out that leg. You want to get the leg closer to the floor. You want to erase any light under. So look under your legs. See how much light there is today. Get rid of that light under the knees. Now do the same thing with your left leg. Move this towards the knee and then towards the heel. Get the thighs to go downwards. Check to see that your pelvis is even, not dropping forward. That happens if you're a little bit more flexible, or dropping backwards. That happens if you're stiffer. If that's the case, then you need to sit up on height. So raise your arms, and again, like we did today earlier, in several poses, lock your thumbs and go up, but go down with your legs. Don't let your knees come up now. Move the thighs down right here, just right at the kneecap. That goes down, that goes down, that goes down. This goes down. Cross the thumbs the opposite way. Get nice and tall. Good, and then we'll take a twist here. So bring your left hand in front of you on your fingertips, directly in front of your pubic bone. Bring your right hand behind you. Make sure that you've turned the top of your right arm outwards, and then lift and turn. As you turn to the right, turn your abdomen, turn your rib cage, and lengthen this left inner thigh backwards behind you. Leave it back behind you. And draw the outer right knee back into the outer right hip to turn even more. Keep your toes going straight upwards. Don't let your feet drop inwards or go outwards. Toes are upwards, and the back of the heel is down. Come back to the center. Once again, raise your arms upwards, lock your thumbs. Move the thighs down, lift the ribs upwards, cross the thumbs the opposite way. Go up, and then bring your right hand down in front of your pubic bone. Turn the top of your left arm out as you bring your hand behind your tailbone. Use your hands to lift, and now lengthen this right inner thigh. Lengthen it out. Turn. Lift your chest. And release. Now hold on to the knees, and again, bring your legs back together into Bada Konasana. Move your hips closer to the feet. Press the heels into each other. Turn the legs outwards and lengthen the inner thighs. And again, adjust your height if you find that your sacrum is falling backwards. Use your hands behind you with your fingernails forward if possible to lift the chest upwards. Bada Konasana. Okay, and now one last time, stretch the legs out to Upavishta Konasana. But now what we're going to do is we're going to bend the left knee. So bend the left knee this way, and your foot comes here into Marichyasana. Now this is where I sit up on some height, because I feel that my sacrum is falling back a little bit. So I'm going to sit up on some height. Please do the same, and just hold onto this knee with your left arm and pull upwards. Make sure that your sacrum is really lifting. If it isn't, I strongly encourage you to lift up. I was looking for another word then. Didn't come so quickly. So strongly encourage you. Okay, so make sure that you're lifting here. So this leg is what we call Marichyasana. This leg is in Marichyasana, and this leg is in Upavishta Konasana. Now we're going to do a little open twist, okay? So bring your left arm up and hook your left elbow inside that knee without letting the arm overpower the knee. So you have to press into the instep of the foot, and then bring this right arm behind you. Again, right behind the tailbone. Lift and turn. Keep pushing the arm into the knee, pushing the knee into the arm to help you get more turn of the abdomen. Keep your sacrum lifting. Turn towards the Upavishta Konasana leg. Lift your chest and then release. Stretch that right leg out. So I'm sitting up on a blanket here. Some of you might have to sit up on 2 blankets. Bring the hands under the back of the right knee, and then bring this leg into Marichyasana. So your right foot is right in line. It's towards the outer right hip. And then just hug this knee and lift. Lift. So you get your sacrum to lift. You get your abdomen to lift. This leg stays in Upavishta Konasana. It doesn't change at all. Okay, now bring your right arm upwards and hook your right elbow inside. And it's really, for some of you, it'll even be the outer shoulder. And then turn the top of your left arm out and turn. Turn towards your Upavishta Konasana leg. So this is a variation of Marichyasana 1 and the twist part of the pose. That pose is a twist. It's also a forward bend. So we're doing a variation of the twist. So push the right arm into the right knee and push the right knee into the arm and turn. Turn the abdomen from the left side, the right side to the left side. Lift your chest and then release. Good, now stretch this leg out once again. Okay, and then we'll bring this leg up, back into Marichyasana. Now, if you're on your period today, you're going to repeat that. Or if this feels like it's a lot for you, you're going to repeat that. I'm even going to sit a little bit higher. I'm going to take this blanket and sit even higher up. So you have to kind of see from pose to pose. Oh, that feels better. From pose to pose what you need, and have the courage to take the support. That's the beauty of the props, is that they allow you to do the poses that you couldn't normally do with integrity. So that's the point. So some of you will do this one again, all right? You're going Marichyasana 1. Some of you can wrap your left arm around your knee, wrap it around, or even just hold the knee. That's fine. Hold the knee, stage one, or wrap the arm around the knee and then turn to the right. So now you're turning towards that knee. This is Marichyasana 3. And now use your left hand behind you to turn your ribs, turn your chest, and move your abdomen over this right thigh and turn. Wrap this right arm around that left knee. Come back to the center and stretch out that left leg. Now bring your right leg up into Marichyasana. And again, just pull upwards. Make sure that you have enough height. Sacrum is lifting, abdomen is lifting. Again, if you're on your period or just feel lower back sensitive, do this one. Although this pose, all of these twists might help lower back sensitivity. Okay, so bring your left hand onto the right knee. Turn your abdomen from the left side to the right side. Some of you can wrap the arm all the way around and then bring this hand around and turn. So you might even feel this in your middle back. You might feel these twists up in your middle back. So, but make sure to sit up on enough height, okay? To get that movement to come in your middle back. Turn. Keep your left leg in Upavishta Konasana. Turn from the left to the right. And then release. Great, now stretch out your leg and then bring your legs back together and come into Tadasana. Again, I'm sitting on a nice folded blanket here. So I started in this way and then I went to this. So I have a lot of height, but you can also sit up on a brick. I even like to sit up on a brick for Padmasana. So, because it gives me much more ability to not have my sacrum fall back. Now my sacrum can really lift, which is what you want. So sit on enough height to get that sacrum to lift. I know I say that every single time, but it's just so important. Some of you don't need that. You have the sacrum lifting already. So bring your feet together, unless you have tighter hamstrings, in which case decentralize. And those of you with tighter hamstrings, have a chair. Have a chair around you so you can utilize a chair. Some of you will also need a belt. You might need a belt for the first stage. So pull the buttocks flesh back of the right sitting bone and then the left sitting bone. So you're coming to the front of the sitting bones. Move the root of the thighs down, lift the sacrum up, raise your arms upwards. And then as you come forward, don't let your arms go down. Don't let your back go down. Move from your pelvis. And then you hold onto the feet or you hold onto a belt and you lift your chest. If your back is rounded, use a belt. Okay, if you have the feet, keep your chest lifting, turn the inner upper arms upwards. And if you have the feet, if you have a belt, stay in the concave and then come forward. Okay, and stay there. Those of you with a chair, put the chair over you. You can take the legs wider and then walk your hands up the chair. Walk your hands up the chair and then rest your head down on the chair. If you can, maybe you have to build the chair upwards. So any of those variations of Padmasana, move the roots of your thighs down, lift the abdomen up, lift your sacrum up, pull on your feet if you have hold of the feet. Those of you with the belt, keep walking your hands closer. If you get to the feet and you still have that concave, then come forward. Otherwise, just stay in the first stage, that concave version of the pose. And then reach your arms forward and come up. That's it. Take this chair to the side. Okay. All right, and now let's come on to our backs, and we'll do Jatara Parivartanasana. Okay, so lie down on your back there. And come into Padmasana. So Padmasana. Make sure that your belt is handy as well. Just adjusting myself here. A lot of wires. Okay, so this is Padmasana. So the buttocks flesh has to length, the chest has to lift, and then the knees come up. Padmasana. Just massaging the abdomen. Massage the abdomen with the thighs. Make sure the outer corners of the buttocks don't come up. They stay down. The sides of your waist go down. Keep your ankles parallel. If there's a space between the knees, that's okay. Okay, now, if you want to turn yourself so that you can get your shoulders in line with your sticky mat, that's always a good way to work, right? Because we're going to do a little twist here. So you can get your shoulders in line with the mat. Okay, and your head will be on the floor here. So bring your knees up. Let's actually shift the hips first. So bring your feet down and then lift up your hips and shift the hips towards the left side. And then bring your knees all the way up and move your knees towards the right side, all the way to the floor at first. And then just see what's happening. Is your left shoulder way up? Okay, so see if you can turn your abdomen, turn your ribs to get that left shoulder to come further down. You can put your top right hand on the top knee to give it a little bit of weight. Otherwise, you can put something under the right knee, and you can even put something in between. So you should feel a nice stretch here in the back. And this is Jatara Parivartanasana, easy version. We'll do the more challenging in a moment. So lift up your hips and then move your hips to the right side, and then bring your knees way up, and bring your toes up, and then bring your knees down. So you want your knees to come up towards the arms. Now just notice, okay, what's happening? Can you lift your chest and turn and get your left or your right shoulder down? You can put your left hand on the top knee and give it some weight. Turn your abdomen, turn your ribs, making sure that your hips are pretty much in line with your head and chest. That's why we shifted the hips. Okay, now come back. Now some of you will do that again, okay? Some of you will do that again. Others of you will do the more challenging version. So now bring your knees up. That's it. Dorsiflex the feet, which means to pull the toes to the knees. And then as you go over towards that right side, press your right arm down as a break and lift your lower right knee into your left knee. Turn your abdomen from the right side to from the left side to the right side, and then get this left arm down. Turn. Come back to the center. If you need to pause in between sides, that's fine. Now bring your knees up, inhale, and now exhale, bring your knees over towards that left elbow. I might have said the other side the first time. So bring your toes upwards, bring your knees way up, press down through this left arm, and then reach out through the right arm so the right shoulder goes down, and turn your abdomen from the left side to the right side. Come back to the center, and then bring your feet down. Good, now bring your feet together and let your knees go out to the sides, Bada Konasana. Press your heels into each other. And just notice, before you adjust your buttocks flesh, notice, is your buttocks going up and your back arching? If it is, definitely scoop that buttocks. And your buttocks should also spread. The top buttocks should spread as you bring your arms up alongside your ears. There should be a spreading of the sacral band. Press your heels into each other, spread the inner thighs towards the knees. Lengthen the outer hips to the hands, make your arms straight. Relax your eyes, relax your jaw, and now let your abdomen get soft. Those are abdominal poses, right? They work the oblique muscles, which are on the sides of the abdomen there. Okay, now bring your legs back together and cross your legs, cross your shins for Supta Swastikasen, Supta Swastikasana. And if you'd like to, you can even add a brick here. You can either stay here, lying flat. Otherwise, you can lift the hips and put a brick, a low brick, under the sacrum. under the sacrum, which feels a nice opening of the hips there. So the legs are crossed, the arms can come up, and you can hold the elbows. If this feels at all stressful to the back, just do the pose flat. Okay, and then switch the cross of the legs and switch the cross of the arms. Lengthen the front hips towards the knees. Let the brick educate your tailbone to come in and up, and your lower back to lengthen. The lumbar spine is lengthening. Okay, and then release, and we'll do Shatush Padasana. So bring your feet as wide as your shoulders. Bring the outer edges of your feet so they're parallel. And hold on to the outer edges of your sticky mat. And press your outer heels down. Turn the tops of your arms out so your outer shoulders come back. And the sides of your chest come up. The sides of the chest go up towards your face. Keep lifting the sides of your chest up, up, up towards your face. So turn the tops of the arms out and get the shoulders to go down. Now with your hips up, lift your middle buttocks higher and bring your shin bones back, sides of your trunk upwards. Pull the arms down and lift the shoulder blades up into the back ribs and then come down. If it feels okay, move the brick one level higher or put another brick on top of your first brick if you happen to have the two bricks there. Otherwise, if you don't have any bricks, you're just resting your hips on the floor. So again, press the outer edges of your heels down. Turn the tops of your arms out so that the outer shoulders pin back. Lift the sides of your trunk up as you lift your hips. Lift your hips. Bring your body weight into the heels, Suck the back of the knee into the buttock. Lift the middle buttock upwards. Pull your arms down and lift your shoulder blades up. Keep moving your chest towards your head, but keep the neck relaxed, the jaw relaxed, and then release. And then maybe you can move this brick to a higher level. Maybe you're at the highest level for you. And there's two ways to have the brick, either sideways or vertical. You can choose which one feels better for your sacrum. If you have really squishy foam bricks, it's better to stay at the second level because those foam bricks don't really work at the high level. They're just too squishy. That's why we use the wooden bricks or the cork bricks for this pose. Okay, and then we'll do that one more time. Turn the tops of your arms out, press your outer heels down, and then lift your hips up and move the middle buttocks upwards. Bring the back of the knee into the buttocks. Lift the sides of your chest towards your face. Relax your jaw. Pull the arms down. And then see if you can press the insteps of your feet so that your knees don't splay apart, and lengthen the front of the thigh. Lengthen the front of the thigh as you bring your hips down. And then you can see, maybe you can stay at this height, or maybe you have to go lower again. You have to go lower as you try to stretch out one leg for Setu Bandha. If that feels okay, you can just do one leg at a time. Otherwise, you stretch out both legs. And you're lengthening the front of the hips away from the pelvis. The pelvis stays steady and you're lengthening the hips. Roll the outer thighs to the inner thighs. Bring your arms out and turn the tops of your arms out. Relax the sides of your neck. So Setu Bandha, Sarvangasana. Make sure the legs are active. Move the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Lift the tailbone in and up. If this feels at all uncomfortable, either bend your knees or take the height lower. Don't compromise your lumbar spine. Okay, now bend your knees. And then lift up your hips and move the brick down, maybe to the lowest level. Some of you can keep it higher, but I'm just going to go to the lowest level. Make sure it's right at the top of the buttocks. And then again, bring your knees up into the chest. You might have to move the position of the brick and then raise your legs straight up. So I have to move that brick a little bit higher up, like that. That's better for me. Okay, so the feet are right over the hips. You can always use a belt on your legs if your legs are shaky. And if your knees are bending, you can put your legs straight up the wall if your legs are bending. Just go ahead and put your legs straight up the wall if you have that wall. Otherwise, raise your arms. And then just bend your arms and bring your arms into a comfortable position. So this is a version of Vipariti Karani, the inverted legs. Again, if it feels stressful, you can come down and put your legs up onto a wall. Okay, now let's bend the knees. And let's come down. And then one last time, come into Bada Konasana this way. So you have that brick, that low brick under there. Come into Bada Konasana. Supta Bada Konasana now. We're not able to do a lot of restoratives on these online classes yet until most of us have more props, but we can do a little bit. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Okay, and then bring your legs back together and let's take Shavasana. So lie down on your back, stretch out your legs. If you feel that the buttocks flesh is lifting up, push it down and lengthen your legs away from your hips. Use your thumbs to lift the occipital bone. If you can't lift it, put a blanket under your head. If your chin is lifting, turn the tops of your arms out and extend your arms away from your shoulders. Take off your glasses and let loose your legs, let loose your arms. Just feel the floor under you. The floor, again, represents that background of our experience, that presence, that awareness that is untouched by all of our reactions, be they positive or negative. So relax the body back into the earth, into the floor. Relax the tongue and the jaw. Hollow out the cheekbones and the eyes. Now, make a choice either to stay in Shavasana longer, just let the meeting end, take as much time as you have today. Otherwise, bring your hands to your abdomen, deepen your breath. And then bend your knees and roll to your right side. And then slowly come on up to sit. You can sit on whatever you happen to have around or nothing at all. Remember, just stay in Shavasana if you'd like to, that's fine. So even right here, as you're sitting, just notice sensations, notice perceptions, notice thoughts and feelings, and then also notice the awareness of those sensations. Notice the awareness of your perceptions and of your thoughts and your feelings. Notice that, or acknowledge that all of those sensations, perceptions, thoughts, and feelings are going to change momentarily, but that background of awareness, that ground of beingness in the background of your experience never changes. This is who you are. This is what yoga points us to. When we recognize that, we have more peace. When we forget that, we suffer. Bring your hands to your heart center. Lift your chest way, way upwards. And we'll do one healing Om for the world that surrounds us and for each other. Inhale. Om. Lift your chest upwards, bow your head downwards.